Welcome to the De-Stress for Success podcast. Did you know that we inherit our stress response from our parents or carers or generations before? That we can pass on our way of reacting to stress to our children. But we can also train our brain to respond to stress differently. It's all about brain health. I'm Isabella Ferguson, and I'm here to deliver to you the most up-to-date evidence-based methodologies on how to find some calm. On De-Stress for Success, I'll ask the experts what we can do to find inner peace. In my early 40s, I bowed out of a 20-year legal career. Decades of running on high anxiety and drinking alcohol to cope had taken its toll on my nervous system, and I was burnt out. So I started exploring the science of stress. This is what gets my pulse racing, but in a good way. Now, as a 48-year-old corporate speaker, counsellor, coach, and alcohol-free woman, I'll interview the experts, ask the questions you wish you had the time to ask, and I'll deliver some practical tips to you. I'm glad you tuned in. Now let's de-stress. Our topic today is covering a subject that is intimately related to stress, our breath and our state of mind. And I couldn't think of a better expert to talk to us about it than Danni Carr, who is a trauma-informed sobriety coach living in the Byron Shire. She has studied compassionate inquiry with Dr. Gabor Mate and is a certified meditation and breathwork teacher. Danni, welcome.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so stoked.
Excellent. You're welcome. Danni, look, what led you to train in this field to begin with?
Yeah, well, I've been running my challenges, the alcohol-free challenges, for quite a while and wanting to teach people to do breath work. And I actually had a breathwork teacher, Sam Brown, would come in and do a kind of mini course for people on breath work. And, I started doing the breath work as well, obviously, joining in with everyone, and started doing a lot of Sam's courses, and I just saw how beneficial it was for myself and thought, well, this would be a great thing to be able to teach people that I'm working with, with my coaching clients. So I thought, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and learn how to do it, and I did, and I love it. Yeah.
Oh, it is absolutely an amazing tool to have at your sleeve, with so many people don't have. Yeah. So that's why I'm just thrilled to have you on to talk a little bit about it. Would you mind just letting us know what happens to our breath and our nervous system when we feel stressed?
Well, when we feel stressed, we generally we tighten up and we start to breathe in our chest area, and the breath becomes shallow. The shoulders can go up, the voice goes a bit higher, and we breathe more rapidly. Yeah. And then what we're doing is we're kind of activating the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight. Or if we're in fight or flight, that's what we go to. We start to breathe shallowly like this. And so when we're in that stress state, that's how we're kind of running. And so many of us are running like that all the time. We don't even realize. And so it's really easy to get yourself out of that fight or flight and activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest, just by your breath. It's so simple.
Yeah.
And actually all you have to do is, you don't even have to do anything super fancy with any alternate nostril breathing or anything like that. It can just be extending your exhale. And that's what I realized also with the work that I do and working with so many people. Like, I could get to the end of the day and be completely frazzled. And and I'd notice myself, I'm like, and I'm all up in my chest and I'm feeling anxious and feeling on. I started to realize, this is no good. And that's why bringing Sam in and starting to do those breathwork practices, I could see how it was making such an impact on me and my own nervous system, and how I started to change the way that I was breathing. And it just had such a profound effect on me instantly. So, yeah.
As soon as you said you start breathing in the upper part of your chest and it's shallow and quick, I think of days when I probably have spent the entire day in that state and not even realised it.
Yeah.
And so then you're sort of caught in a cycle of not releasing and breathing, and it can just build up.
That's right. And once it becomes a practice, mind you, I'm still guilty of it. So I'll still be going through the day and I'll realise, oh, gee, I need to, get back into my breath and anchor myself a little bit more. But yeah, once it becomes a practice, you become so much more aware. What's interesting is because I'm a singer and so is my husband, and so we do a lot of diaphragmatic breathing through singing. And I didn't realize, I kind of thought I had it nailed. And it wasn't until I really started to notice myself and become aware that, no, I'm only doing that when I'm singing.
Yes.
Not day to day. So, yeah.
How does meditation and breathwork connect as sort of two practices? Like, does breathwork come in with meditation, or do you do meditation without the breath, or they're a combined thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. Look, you can do them separately. Usually to set up for meditation, I'd start with a bit of breath work just to get you out of that fight or flight state, or to activate the parasympathetic nervous system so we can rest and digest and get into that more meditative space. So I think the two go hand in hand. But some people, their mind is too busy for meditation. And so breath work is a great first step to getting there. It gives you something to do and to focus on, where for some people it's too much to just sit and meditate and just be with the breath. The mind's too busy. So I think breath work is a really beautiful start to get you on the journey.
That makes sense to me. But in my very limited experience with trying to meditate, it just doesn't seem to immediately come. And I know it probably takes lots of practice, but the breath work seems to, because your focus, it's almost movement and focus. And when you're focusing on your breath, you can't necessarily have other thoughts intrude as well. So it's that calming kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is the whole idea, and tell me if I've got this wrong, is that when you start your breath work and you're listening to somebody talk you through it, you're just slowly notching yourself into a calmer state and essentially giving yourself some respite from being so revved up. And I imagine stress hormones are then able to kind of subside as well.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think when you're doing either a guided practice is so much easier. So I usually use a guided practice unless I'm doing a specific meditation. I run myself through my own little breathwork practice, but I prefer to do a guided one because it just gives you that framework to go with. I think as soon as you have something to focus on, so look, it's not just meditation and breathwork, it's mindfulness practices as well, but anything that brings you out of your mind and that story and brings you back into your body, because when we're up in the mind and the story, we're releasing the stress hormones. And the survival emotion, those chemicals that get released, the cortisol and things like that. So that's what happens when we're in the mind. But when we come into the body, it's completely different. And then we're not up here in our story. We're just focused on something. So whether it's breath work, whether it's just being in the present moment, it's all it really is. And meditation is the same. All of it really is just about refocusing your mind to focus on one thing rather than be up here with all the fluctuations of the mind.
The lists, the endless things to do, the phone calls, the negative self-talk, everything that's kind of putting you in a state of frenzy.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
The thing is too, I think that the important part of this is, when you said that, it's really hard to meditate, the point of the practice is not necessarily to think nothing, but it's to refocus the mind. And that's the gold. That's where we strengthen our mind and create new neural pathways. And every time we're off in storyland and we can manage to bring our mind back to a point of focus, that's meditation. That's the good work. And then when you can start then taking that out into your daily life. So when you're driving in the car and so I think that fucking bitch.
Yes.
But then you can notice that, and then with kindness and compassion, just coming to your breath for a moment, you're not up there in that story, and you can see how it starts to work in your daily life. So it's not just, I do this every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning and then 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's actually, you start to bring it into your daily life and it becomes the habit. And the mind changes, and it's freaking amazing. You don't get so caught up. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, you explained that so well. It's almost like you then can become an observer of your own thoughts to be able to, refocus it back in.
And we
Oh,
need it, right? Like even when we're in some story about he said, she said, or oh my God, I've got these endless lists of things to do, and you can start, and then the breathing starts to go, okay, no, can I bring it back to my breath and just be in this present moment.
yeah.
And then we're suddenly not releasing all those horrible stress hormones in the body, which creates inflammation and more stress. And, the list goes on. We start to reach for externals to make ourselves feel better. We feel so out of sorts. It's just amazing how just one breath can bring us back. 2 breaths if we need, 10 if you need.
Oh,
Yeah.
and we've got it within us. So you don't need to go and buy something or
That's right.
sign up to something expensive. It's something we were born with.
Yeah.
Particularly really busy people. And look, to be honest, that's everybody that walks the planet. That kind of uptight breathing and that stress for many starts in the morning when they wake up and they reach for the phone, and then you're automatically on your emails, you're reading through the news, and you're already going. And what I've learned is that stress then accumulates throughout the day unless you've got little moments that you're able to give pause and to release the stress valve.
Absolutely.
So, Danni, what can people do if they're running around in their lives and they're stuck in a bit of a strict routine? What's a practical tip that they can do just to recenter and be that observer and bring it into a bit of a calmer state of mind?
What I do, because I'm super busy and I tend to run a little bit more on the, my nervous system's a bit more on. So I have to work at it to keep myself fairly regulated throughout the day. So just checking in, just remembering. The hard thing is remembering to do it. That's the hard bit. So I actually put Post-it notes around the place. I'll have one in my car. I'll have one at the fridge. I have one in my bathroom next to my bed. Just says breathe. Breathe. I've actually got it tattooed also on my foot.
That is so good.
I've got breathe and surrender on my feet because I need to remember both of those things.
Yeah.
So, and then all you need to do is you could say take in a breath for 4. So breathing in through the nose for 4.
Yeah.
Hold at the top for a couple of seconds and just let the breath go. Exhale for, if you can push it out to 8, great. 6 is fine, in for 4, out for 8.
Yeah.
Extending your exhale. And you can just do that. Gosh, even once makes a difference. Like, let's try that now. Just breathing in through the nose.
All right.
Just a simple one. So we're breathing in for 4.
Yep.
3, 2, 1. And hold it for maybe 2. And then just slowly release the breath. Beautiful. And I could just see your shoulders just drop there. And it's like,
it is,
so
isn't
lovely.
it? It's just a stop, you've got this, and recenter.
Yeah.
As simple as that. That's
simple
incredible.
as that. And then if you're feeling still a little bit, do it again.
If you just want to do it, say 4 cycles, that would be enough to kind of relax you a little, then to start off again.
Yeah.
What if you wanted, sorry, you go, Danni.
I was just going to say, just extending that exhale starts to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So if you say do 4, just 4, in for 4, out for 8, I mean, that is such a great reset. And you'll probably find you're not the same person that you were before you started that first breath. It's incredible the way in which that can just reset us and recenter. And then it's like, okay, all right, I'm a bit more with it now. I'm a bit more ready to go. And it just makes such a huge difference.
Look, I am an absolute beginner when it comes to breathwork and meditation, but I'm starting. There's always been a little, it's always been on a list somewhere. And in preparation for today, yesterday I was having a particularly stressed day. There is a lot going on. There's a house move and sort of a personal issue had cropped up last week in our family. So I thought I'm going to sit on down and do Danni Carr's 14-minute breath work to settle the nervous system. And after this 14 minutes, I felt so chilled. And
awesome.
it felt like a secret indulgence. And I almost can't wait to whack on my next one. When my husband goes, I'm going to lie down and do another one. It's just, it's like you've just rediscovered this super battery recharger. It's incredible.
It's just so amazing. Anything like that where it's just even taking that time, isn't it, to pause. I mean, it's great to have a practice, a breath practice or a meditation practice to bolster that. But even just to take a moment and just sit and be with yourself and be with your breath. You don't even need to do anything fancy. Just stay with your breath, breathing in, breathing out. You know, it's just like, okay, I need this. And the thing is, it's great that you recognize that you needed it. And the body's sending us signals all the time. Hey, hey, hey. Like, you know, you might feel the shoulders up or the breathing change. You might have a knot in your stomach, or your mind's super busy, or your hands are sweating, or you're having an anxiety attack. Sometimes once you're having an anxiety attack, it's a bit too late. You need to sort of perhaps take a walk first and then slowly ease into your breathwork practice. Yeah. But your body, if your body's sending you the signals, you know, that's when you need it. A lot of people say, oh, I'm too stressed or I'm too busy. No, you're the one that needs it. You know, you need it. Yeah.
And I'm so used to grabbing a phone and just doing random scrolling, or probably food would be my second thing to, you know, unhealthily unwind. And I can get actually caught in almost like food binge cycles with chocolate and chips, salt and vinegar chips. Or when you don't have alcohol as an option, there are all those other sorts of things that you pick up. But I think this could be a really good option that's an easy go-to to add into the toolkit, for want of a better word, that it just could be the Kickstarter that you need. There's also that wonderful meditation or breath work that a lot of people talk about it, and you do as well, which is the yoga Nidra.
Yes.
What does that mean? What's that about?
That's a little superpower.
Yeah.
Yoga Nidra is amazing. And that's kind of a combination of a bit of breath work and body awareness and meditation. And you do that one lying down. So you do that one laying down on your back.
Yeah.
It's Yoga Nidra means, I think the direct translation is yogic sleep. It's basically you're putting your body to sleep and you're slowing your brain waves down just as though you're sleeping. It like it mimics sleep, but you're still awake. Although I must say I'm guilty. I pretty much fall asleep every time I do yoga nidra, even though you're not meant to. Naughty meditation teacher over here. But so yoga nidra, it's like the health benefits. A lot of doctors are using it. A lot of psychotherapists, psychologists. Yes, there's a lot of doctors, particularly functional medicine doctors, that are prescribing yoga nidra because it has so many health benefits. It lowers your blood pressure, it settles your nervous system, lowers inflammation markers in the body. It's just like everything. It basically does everything. But so what it is you usually start with a bit of breath awareness. So you're lying there on your back. You go through a body rotation where you focus on different parts of the body.
Yeah.
And as you start to do this, the brain waves start to slow down. So it's really quite amazing if you see on like an ECG when someone's doing yoga nidra, how the brain waves go from quite busy, the beta waves like this, to almost like not moving. These theta or delta waves, which are quite long and wide and slow. They're not moving much. So you're getting yourself, and then you're kind of getting into this sort of deep hypnotic state almost. And it's the most, oh my God, it's just so beautiful. Within there also you do a thing called a sankalpa, which is like a vision statement, I guess, of, it's like a mantra of how you want to be, I guess is probably the best, most simple terms of way of describing it, sankalpa. Yeah. So you bring in the sankalpa at the start and the sankalpa at the end when you're in that deep meditative state, if you're still awake. And that, you know, they say 30 minutes of yoga nidra is equivalent to 3 hours of sleep.
No way.
Yeah. Yoga nidra is great for your memory as well. Like if you've learnt something, it's great to go into yoga nidra directly, like straight after you've been studying. You remember 50% more. Isn't that incredible?
It is absolutely incredible.
Yoga nidra is my religion. I do it every day. I do it every day at pretty much at 2:00 most days. Even if I'm working, I have been known to, because I just, like, you're meant to stay awake. Yeah. But if I've forgotten to set the timer and say I've got a coaching client, I actually did sleep half an hour into a coaching. It's like, oh my God, am I going to tell the truth here? Which I did. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I snuck in a yoga nidra.
I was yoga nidring.
But anyway, yoga nidra, I can't stress it enough. And it's really great for people as well who have a busy mind, because you're guided through. It's great for people with ADHD. So Mark Purser, who's my teacher,
yes,
who I run yoga retreat, meditation retreats and healing retreats with, he has got pretty full on ADHD, and he uses his yoga nidra every day. He notices if he doesn't do it, the mind gets super busy and a bit chaotic. And it's just a beautiful practice to keep the mind steady. And so I would say to anyone that's experiencing ADHD to go and try yoga nidra. So I've got one on Insight Timer, which is 15 minutes.
Yes.
Which is more for those busy-minded type people, which is quite a fast-moving yoga nidra. And you're less likely to go to sleep in that one too. But it just resets you. So even when you feel tired, go to yoga nidra in your lunch break. It resets you. It's incredible.
Oh, well, that is the best tip I think we can give a lot of our listeners is that you've got the ability to take that patch out depending on how much time you've got in your schedule, whether it's 15 minutes, 20, 30, restoring the nervous system, creating that space, helping your memory, helping all of your internal medical stats. Yeah. And you're getting 3 hours sleep worth if you're doing it in a particular way. I'm sure it needs to be done.
If you do 30 minutes, but even a 15-minute one, like I feel completely rejuvenated.
Incredible.
It's so amazing. But also when you get into those delta and theta brain waves, that's where we get into in deep sleep where the body restores itself. So it's deeply restorative for the body. It's amazing. And
incredible.
It's not like a new thing. It's a very old yoga practice, which is hundreds and hundreds of years old. So it's tried and tested, and now it's got a lot of science to back it as well. So it's really amazing.
I wish we all learnt this. I wish it was a school thing that we all did as a practice, but we have to kind of struggle a bit to then find something that we know is good for us in a way. And I loved how you mentioned that it's a practice. So it's kind of like a preemptive practice rather than a Band-Aid at the end.
That's it.
If you can keep it going every day.
Absolutely. There's a great doctor, I'll just say this too. There's a Dr. Oscar Kerouac. He's out of the Byron Bay Health Lodge. He does amazing lectures on yoga nidra, and he teaches people yoga nidra as a medicine. So I would say if of all the things, if you can get yourself that 15, 20-minute window, oh my gosh, you won't ever regret doing yoga nidra. It's just amazing. It's amazing superpower.
I'm absolutely hooked, Danni. And you know, you've got the voice for it and that calm presence. Like I think I've sat here over the last 20 minutes and just completely relaxed. I'd love to end on maybe a 2-minute guided, relaxed breath work for our listeners with you, if you're open to it.
Sure.
But before we do, where can people find you and some of your guided breath work? Because I cannot recommend just your style and the way that you guide it through highly enough. Where can we find those?
Thank you. Well, so on the Insight Timer app. So that's it's free. It's a free app, and it's got a little singing bowl on it. You can see when you look it up. So Insight Timer. I've also got some on YouTube as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And,
all right.
They're there to use. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to put some of those little links in the show notes so that everybody can have a look and jump on and find that 15 to 30 minutes in their day.
Yeah. There's one of the yoga nidra practices that I've got on there is 23 minutes. It's a deeply relaxing one. So I would say give that a go, or the 15-minute one if you sort of don't have much time. Yeah. But one thing is, I'll just say this. Yeah. Like with the work that we do, that you and I do, and that other, that we're all doing, like we're all kind of running ourselves fairly thin. And it's just so important to make sure that you're filling your bucket, like you're filling your cup. So, as we say as sober coaches, so we're not filling our wine, our wine glass.
Yeah.
But it's so important. It's so needed. And when I studied with Gabor Mate, he said, and he would stress this so much, that when we're working with people, you need to allow at least an hour a day to fill your cup or to fill your bucket. And I was like, an hour a day? That's ridiculous. But now I realize like how much I need it. And if I don't do it, if I'm not filling my bucket, my body lets me know, because my nervous system goes and I feel out of sorts. I feel dysregulated. I start to get shitty. I'm moody, snappy. Yeah. Everything starts to unravel. So it's it's so important. It's not just for us, but for the people around us as well, the people that we're working with, so that we can give what we need, but we're not running ourselves ragged in the process. It's really important.
And Danny, this is more than just having a hot chocolate on a couch, isn't it? As being your fill the cup, which I know that I'm guilty of. That's pretty much all I do sometimes.
That's great too.
Yeah. Yeah. But you need more, don't you, than just
I think
that.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, and if it's yoga nidra, even 4 times a week is hugely beneficial, even if it's not every day, but taking some time out just to check, okay, what's my breath doing? What's my body telling me? The body's constantly letting us know, but we're so accustomed to ignoring our body and that conversation that the body's trying to have with us. We try and shove it away or drink it away or eat it away or whatever it away or just ignore it. And that's when we end up completely unraveled, sick, diseased, addicted.
Yeah.
So it's so important to go, okay, I'm giving out. How am I going to give back to myself? How am I going to keep filling my own cup? Yeah.
Oh, Danny, your clients are so lucky to have you. You just hear that wonderful compassion coming through. All right. So this is for purely selfish motives here. Would you mind doing a 2-minute breath?
Absolutely. Okay, let's do it.
That would be unreal.
Let's keep it super simple.
Yes.
So if you're driving, pull over.
Yes, do that, please.
Please don't do this while you're driving.
Even if you've got the dog, maybe tie it to a tree.
That's what I do with my dog down on the beach when I meditate. I just tie him up to the pole and I just move up a few, give him some treats. Okay. So, all right. So just, wherever you are, just sort of becoming accustomed to your body, like just becoming aware of your body, becoming aware of your breath. Just noticing the fact that you're breathing. Start to become aware of the air as it enters the nostrils. And follow that journey of the breath as it goes through the nostrils, through the throat, chest, seeing if we can guide the breath down into the belly. And as we exhale, just gently bringing the belly button back towards the spine and just letting go. Breathing in through the nose, into the belly. Expanding the belly on your inhale and just letting go on your exhale. Again, breathing into the belly, long, slow, steady breath. And exhale, letting the breath gently go. Just going to bring in a count now with our inhale. Bring in a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath at the top for 2, 1. Slowly exhale through the nose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathing in through the nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. 2, 1. And exhale through the nose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, breathing in through the nose into the belly. Expand the belly. 2, 1. And holding at the top. Letting the breath go. Breathing in again through the nose. Expand the belly, expand the chest. Holding at the top. Releasing the breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just letting go of the count. Just letting the breath stabilize. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Just becoming aware of your feet on the floor. Noticing the points of contact. Your feet either in your shoes or on the floor. Being aware of the ends of your toes. Slowly taking awareness to the knees. Awareness to your bum in the seat. The small of your back. Your mid-back, upper back. Becoming aware of your shoulders, your arms, fingertips. Just letting the shoulders and the arms become heavy. Becoming aware of your tummy and your chest. The neck. Letting the jaw relax. Just letting go just for this moment. Awareness to the crown of the head. And now just having that sense and awareness of your whole body. Whole body. Whole body. And again, just noticing the breath. Becoming aware of the room that you're in or the car that you're in. Becoming aware of some sounds outside of the room. Sound of your breath. Taking a final inhale in through the nose. Holding at the top. And releasing the breath. Then slowly open your eyes.
Oh, thank you so much, Danni Carr. It's just magical, really. It's gold,
yes.
Particularly because you don't breathe that way normally. And you don't think you can breathe out anymore, but you can.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it's incredibly calming. And, I didn't get the giggles. That was good.
Oh, don't worry, I've been known to get the giggles in meditation. But it's beautiful, and it's just that awareness of the breath, the awareness of the body, and then you're out of the story and you're just in the present moment, just for that moment. And then
you're the
you
best.
get on with your day.
I absolutely love it. Thank you for
having me.
For doing that. Oh, you're welcome. All right. Have the best day.
You too.
See you later.
See you, Isabella. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed the content, please don't forget to rate, subscribe, or leave a review about this podcast. These 3 things really help to get this podcast out to people that might need to hear it. You can find me at www.isabellaferguson.com.au. Jump on my website, check out all the resources I've got there about alcohol, stress, and burnout. You can also book in a free introductory call. It's a 30-minute confidential chat if you are looking for a counsellor or a coach to support you to drink less or to manage your stress. I'm always here to chat. If you've got a question, please do not hesitate to reach out. I hope you have a really good day. See you later.